I will admit that my personal interaction with law enforcement over the course of my life has been extraordinarily one-sided, and not to the positive side. And so, as a result of that, I view law enforcement for the most part in a negative light. And then you see what they do. You see the way they treat people, certain types of people, certain communities. And then just their general attitude overall. And it makes me come to the conclusion that this career, this job, law enforcement, attracts some of the worst people you can imagine. I mean, if this is your mentality, you're not fit for the job of serving and protecting the community.
How you doing, sir?
Get out of my way right now.
How you doing, sir?
Get out of my way.
I'm not in your way.
Get out of my way. Get out of my way.
I'm not in your way.
How many times do I have to tell you?
I'm not in your way.
Fuck you.
Right here.
That's how
And
many
you're on
times.
camera. I'm
Fuck
recording
you.
you.
That's how many times.
He could have said, excuse me, like, bruh. He want to be Billy Badass. Yeah, she said, excuse me, too. Somebody got manners.
Just what a fucking asshole, you know? And they gave that man a badge and a gun and said, go out and protect the community. And I get it. I'm anecdotally speaking, I'm extraordinarily biased. My early interactions with law enforcement were interactions that are still stuck in my brain to this day. I remember I was, 7? Yeah, about 7 years old. My brother was 2. And my mom, dad, and my uncle, my mom's brother, were all going in my uncle's pickup truck to go pick up a used washer because ours had taken a shit. And there was no buying anything new for us. We didn't have the money for that shit. And we used to always drive in the back of my Uncle Joe Bay's pickup truck, but my mom's like, no, you stay home and watch your brother. It's late at night. We're going to go pick up this. I don't want you in the bed of the truck with the washer back there. And so they went and picked up the washer, and they got T-boned coming back. And had we been in the bed of the truck, we would have been dead. But I remember being at home watching my brother, because that's what happened in the 70s. If you were 7, you got left at home to watch your 2-year-old brother. And I remember there being a knock on the door. And I answer the door, and it's 2 of North Lake's finest, right? And we lived in North Lake. They were sent over to sit with us until my grandparents arrived from Addison to pick us up. My aunt and uncle, my mom's other sibling, her aunt, and her husband were on the way to the hospital to deal with that end of it. My grandparents were on their way to get me. And then the cops were sent to watch us. And I distinctly remember, 7 years old, in my own living room, hearing the cops that were sitting at the kitchen table in the next room talking about having to come to this shithole and watch these kids for these trash people. I remember all of these words and this general attitude. And I'm 7 years old. I don't know what the hell's going on, right? But I can distinctly remember that at the age of 7 thinking to myself, my parents aren't home yet, so I'm going to be the one that has to stand in between these guys and my brother if something happens. And then, of course, the incident with the law enforcement over the years, preteen and teen, where none of it was ever pleasant. None of it was ever positive. And then in my traveling days, when in the first half of my 20s, I can tell you that it was more than a few times in my early 20s where I found myself in an altercation with law enforcement that didn't want to bother doing the paperwork on me, so you just got roughed up in an alley and left. And then, of course, my interaction with law enforcement as as a member of a family, as a family man, a person with a wife and a few kids, has also not been the most pleasant experience. So I understand I'm biased, but what is it about this profession that attracts these kind of motherfuckers? What is it about this profession that attracts the straight D student with a fucking attitude?